Look at how nice that is. Before anything, I want to remind everybody that Saturday, March 22nd, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Freeport Recreation Center, 130 East Merrick Road, Freeport, New York. Zip code is 11520. You punch it up on the Google machine. That's RepLICon for the Long Island Scale Modeling Society. That's their annual contest. RepLICon number 32. So that's coming up Saturday, March 22nd, 2025, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's an IPMS show, so there's all genres. You got them all. Planes, tanks, cars, you name it. Science fiction, ships, dioramas, fantasy, figures, busts, flats, good stuff. And pretty good, really good vendors. So if you came down for the Liars show, it's the same location as the Liars show. That's every year. So come down, check it out. That is Saturday, March 22nd, 2025, 9 a.m., 4 p.m., 130 East Merrick Road, Freeport, New York, 11520. See how important it is? It's so important. I just memorized the zip code because that's how important it is. On to the shenanigans. Hey, welcome back to Frank's Model Works. I'm Frank. It's been a couple of weeks since I last posted a video, and I apologize. Winters are tough physically, especially where I work and what I do. I recently took on a different role than I normally do. It's something that I actually did earlier on in my career, going in and out of manholes and stuff like that. So by the time I get home, I'm usually pretty tired. And I said from the very beginning, when I started the channel, that if this ever started to feel like a job, then it's time to take a break. Because I am, first and foremost, I am a model maker. I'm not here to be a content creator. I'm not looking to make a job out of this, because it's a bad job if you think about it. The pay is awful for the amount of hours. So right around the time I got back from vacation, I had reached a point where my projects were either so early on in their construction that there wasn't much to show you. And I had basically caught up on all the content that I had, and all of the work that I had managed to do while I was home. So there was really nothing to show you. And I'm not going to make content just for the sake of making content. It's not what I'm here for. If I have something to show you, then that's why I make a video. So that's why you didn't see me so much. It did start for a while there. It started to feel like a job, and people don't realize it. Like the people who are steady viewers of the channel and have positive feedback for me and are interested in being part of the community, they don't realize that a lot of us who have channels deal with some seriously messed up people. There's, for lack of a better way of putting it, while the overwhelming majority of interaction that I have with my viewers is extremely positive, 99% of it is extremely positive, there are some seriously demented people out there, and their hobby is just messing with you. And it's not so much the things that they say, because you let stuff like that roll. When you grow up looking like this and having the name Francis, there's not much people can say to me at this point that's really going to hurt my feelings. But being an empathetic person that I am, when I encounter somebody who's just being an energy vampire, which just has nothing but vitriol and hatred. It's not that I'm taking that personally to heart. I actually feel sad for that person. That's, you know, this is what your life has become. There are people you can just tell, they'll, like, you know when the setup is coming. They'll ask you a question that is answered in the video that they're asking you about, and you know that you went over it in the video, and it's like the setup. So where if I say to them, well, it's in the video, then, yeah, I didn't watch the video, it's too long. They're setting you up to take a shot at you, and you know, it's sad. And after a while, it can start to grate on you, where you feel like, why do I bother? So there was a little bit of that involved in it. Januaries and Februaries are never a fun time for me. I don't like the winter. So, you know, combined with all that stuff, this just, I went and I focused on building. So, you know, it's not exactly easy. So when you see a video of mine that's, say it's an hour long, and I have a lot of them because I want to be thorough and give you good information, good advice, good resources, good tools. That hour of video is probably 8 to 10 hours of editing and 15, 16 hours of shooting content. And then on top of it, I gotta build a model every now and then, you know, because like that's my hobby, is building models. It's not doing this. So, you know, after a while, there's just, I gotta catch up. I gotta build something, and I found that last year my outcomes for my models weren't up to my standards for the builds. I was very happy with the first model that I built on the channel, the 2010 Mustang GT. The 1971 Mach 1 Mustang was good with the rusted out bottom. The Porsches, for the most part, with the exception of the Boxster, they were garbage. They really were. I mean, they're just not that good. It's not up to my standard. The Mustang that I finished for Jason's group build, came out really nice, but I know I can do better. So if I'm not, like, who am I to tell you how to build models or try to offer advice or think that my advice is worthy of anything if my output isn't up to my own standards? So with all of that backdrop, I needed to recharge, reboot, and get to a point where I have something useful to tell you. So in this episode, I'm just going to give you an update as far as what I've been working on, where I've progressed, and going forward, how things are going to proceed with group builds. Now, from now on, as far as group builds are concerned, if I participate in a group build, it's done. I'm doing so with the proviso that it's done when I say it's done. I don't care what the deadline is. I'll build whatever you want me to build. It's just when I get to it, it'll be done when I want it to be done. Like, for example, the USAC group build, I'm fairly well along. I'll show you what I've done so far, like the big bullet points of what I've done so far, but I don't think I'm going to make the deadline. The deadline is March 16th, which is like less than a week away. I'm not making it. And I'm not going to build a model that's slapped together just to make a deadline. Goes against everything, every goal that I set for myself as a modeler. And so for that reason, going forward, group builds will be at my leisure, on my timeline, according to my schedule. I mean, if we're being honest, group builds are basically a form of promotion. If you think about it, if you're sponsoring a group build, it's because you want people to tag you in the videos, and then the algorithm picks you up. That's kind of what they're for. I understand it's the sense of community, and I agree. But as far as the deadlines and the stuff like that, I'm not holding myself to them anymore. And if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to do so. You do whatever you want. You're the boss of you. But Frank has one boss. She's upstairs. I do want to say a very heartfelt thank you. Tiffany over at Dirt Road Cinderella, her daughter Kari Ann, made that plaque for me. And I'm gonna be honest. Now, you just heard everything, my whole spiel about the what I went through this past winter, and I was in a little bit of a funk. That brought me out of that funk and made me want to make a video again. Because that was just an act of kindness out of nowhere. That is the quintessential, most positive aspect of being a member of this community, is acts of kindness just like that. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Kari Ann and Tiffany and Bug and all of the members of the Packard household for this gift, which means a lot to me. It holds a place of high esteem and will be in the backdrop of my videos going forward. With that said, thank you so much, Kari Ann, Tiffany. I'm going to put you up there, and we're going to talk about some stuff that I've been working on. And let's get to that. First up, as you saw in the thumbnail, there was a red station wagon. That is a 1977 Pontiac Safari station wagon, which is going to serve as a facsimile to a car that I've spoken about a couple of times on the channel. My friend Frank, back in high school, had a 1975 Grand Le Mans station wagon that we called the War Wagon. We all used to pile in there with a couple of kegs of beer and go party. So my vision for this is a 3D file that I printed out. I downloaded off of Cults 3D. The designer's name is Andrey Bezrodny. I've mentioned him numerous times in the past. His kits are absolutely beautiful. So this is a 3D printed body. Minimal. The print was fairly successful with almost no Z shifts. The underside, what is usually referred to as the ugly side, doesn't look bad at all. There's going to be a little bit of cleanup to do on the body, a little bit of perfecting the fitment on this side of the hood right here. But this is going to be a full detail kit, and I'm going to build it eventually as almost like a resto mod version of Frank's 75 Grand Le Mans. These wheels, both sets, are from Z-Force Model Works. I'll have a link to their Cults 3D page in the description of this video as well. These are twisted magnums. Those are gonna tuck in there nice lowered resto mod look that I'm going for. So if I don't go with the twisted, I'll go with the straight up the old resto mod magnums, Magnum 500s, tucked in there thusly. I might go with bigger wheels, tires. We'll see how things shake out. But as far as the interior goes, Andrey gives you the option, which I find hysterical, to do a whenever he does, because like for the Colonnade cars that he's done in his series of GM cars from the 1970s, he has Pontiac, Chevy, and Oldsmobile. He'll do say for example the Grand Prix. He'll do the Grand Prix 2-door. He did the Can-Am. He did the Grand Am. He did the Le Mans 4-door. The wagons with the wagon kits. He'll provide like high performance hoods with the scoops. It's actually kind of cool the way he does that. And in this wagon, he actually provides an interior that has a center console, which, as far as I know, was not available on any wagons in 1977. But it's a pretty cool, with bucket seats. I mean, that just screams for like a resto mod. So that's the way I'm going to be building this model. The best part is this is actually printed as one piece, this engine. And that's how detailed his designs are. I can't think of a model kit manufacturer's engine that is this detailed. I just can't. The spark plug holes are already there. You don't even have to drill them, as you can see. They're already there. There's already indentations in the distributor. And the best part is, if you don't want to print out this complete, the file itself comes with the engine. You know, here's just the block with the water pump on the front, transmission separate. I find this hysterical. The only exhaust he gives you with the model is headers, but look at how perfectly they fit. Look at that fitment. I can't think of a 1/25th scale model of any manufacturer that has an exhaust that fits so positively and so well. And that's just amazing. So that is definitely on the very near to-do list, but we shall see. Now, if you remember, I had done a couple of months back a video where I showed a 64 Ford. I gave that one to a friend, so hopefully he'll build it on his channel. If not, I'll print out another one. We'll see. Like I said in the introduction, I'm not holding myself to... I'm going to do things the way I want to do them. And I think that was my biggest problem. I wasn't doing... I was like letting other forces dictate what I built. And that was giving me a sour taste in my mouth. And it's probably why I stopped making videos for a little bit. But let me set up for the next thing. Hold on. Next up, I had previously shown... that I had printed out this 1979 Ford Bronco body. I wound up printing out the rest of the kit the way I want to build it. This was one of the earlier of my most, when I started getting really, really successful prints on bodies that were devoid of Z shifts. As you can see, there's no Z shifts in this body, and little to no build lines. In this body, there is some evidence of the mesh, and that's the actual kit designer's, basically, that's his hand. And that would just, a coat of primer would get rid of that. You could barely see it. I see it because I'm crazy, and these are the things that I look for. When I'm talking about the mesh, you could actually see it more. If you see these horizontal lines in the footwell, that's the mesh. That's the actual physical rendering of the design being printed. And because there's no evidence of build lines, you're seeing the mesh. So I guess that's a mark of a good print. But this kit again comes with a chassis. It's not notional. It's rather functional. Some nicely detailed axles with leaf springs. Room for super detailing for sure. The engine itself comes with the transmission and transfer case. And again, I think it's hysterical that he provides headers, but the fit is just phenomenal. So rather than a full-on stock if I really wanted to make this a stock Bronco, I could probably use an engine kit from, this is from Scale Auto Model Works, their Cults 3D site, and I could put either a big block or a small block in there that's stock appearing. So you do have the option of doing that. The engine itself looks fairly stock with the exception of the headers. The wheels and tires, as printed from the kit, you know, you could get the rather sedate radials up to something with a little bit of tread on it, but I opted for a Z-Force Model Works file. Just an 8-hole rim, and it comes with 2 hub styles, so you have the locker for the front, and then the rears have no locker because they don't need to be locked. With these aggressively treaded Super Swamper TSL tires. So I printed those out. Those came out very nicely. The interior is phenomenal. I mean, this surpasses pretty much anything you're gonna get in the kit. Unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, but I'm saying that not as a swipe at kit manufacturers. It's just, if this is what's in our future, if we could get this in plastic, then, you know, there's bright things ahead for us. But look at the detail that's available from this. Look at where is it? This. Look at the door card. That's more detail than pretty much any kit on the market today. Easy to mask and paint. The seats, you know, devoid of mold separation lines. I mean, but there are, you know, there is the ugly side, so you would have to get rid of this texture, but are you really going to get rid of this? It's going to be upside down, you know, it's going to be sitting, you're not going to see it. You could do it to get, I guess, a better purchase on gluing it to the floor, but other than that, the limiting factor is this. You don't get clear parts, and you can't print clear parts with 3D resin, 3D printed resin. So you'd have to print out bucks and then either transfer these as templates to clear acetate or clear styrene that you'd cut out, or you'd vacuum form it, which there's your limitation, folks. You know. But as far as printing out I did print out the clear parts, the headlights. Hold on a second. These are the headlights and taillights and side marker lights for this kit. I haven't clear coated them yet. This is how it comes out of the printer. You notice it looks a little smoky and foggy. But if you checked out my last video in my 3D printing series about printing clear parts, you can print the headlights and taillights and turn signals. They'll turn out pretty good. They actually look pretty good with a coat of clear on them. I use either Tamiya clear or like an acrylic clear. You could use Mr. Color has it's called UV cut that will protect the 3D printed parts from yellowing. If you display them in a place where they'll see sunlight, they will yellow in the sun over time. So if you spray the clear with UV cut by Mr. GSI Creos, Mr. Color, Mr. Hobby, I'll put a link in the description to what I'm talking about. Once you coat it with that, you won't have to worry about it turning yellow. And the parts will be translucent enough with the clear coat that they'll be passable as headlights and taillights. You know, you paint the taillights with the clear red or clear amber for turn signals, and it works fine. It's just the windows themselves, the actual glass, the technology of 3D printing. That's readily commercially available on the consumer level. Isn't at the point where you can print optically clear parts. So there's the limitation. So let me set up for the next one. Hold on. And as far as kits go, the only thing I've really bought recently is this. I've been waiting for this for a while since they announced it. Not just because I like Blazers and Broncos and Ram Chargers and all of those early SUVs. I'm a big fan of the show. And what I was looking forward to the most with this is that I get to use it with these. So these are the original kids from Stranger Things, from season 1. So you have Lucas Sinclair, 11, Dustin Henderson, Will Byers, and Mike Wheeler. These are all 3D printed from files that I got off of Cults 3D by 3DP Miniatures. And they don't look exactly, I don't know, if, they're close enough to the kids themselves. But I think they'll be a really nice accompaniment when I build this. And you can just tell that this kit, Revell's got a gold mine on their hands with this kit. Because it's not just a Blazer. People are gonna rob it for the chassis. They're gonna rob it for the engine. They're gonna rob it for the light bar. You know, they're gonna be using this thing over and over again for decades. And I'm here for it, because I've seen some reviews. There were reviews of, open box and stuff like that. I'm not gonna bother doing that. It's been done 15 times over already. But my purposes for getting this kit was so that I could paint these kids up. And again, this isn't an imminent project. This is one of those, I'll get to it. But this is gonna happen sooner rather than later. So there's that. I'll set up for the next one. And finally, I want to do an update on the ongoing builds that I have. If you remember, in the body finishing tutorial, I had the avocado green 68 Charger, the B7 blue 69 Charger, and this is my USAC 1968 Dodge Dart. Yeah, I know the purists will say, oh, they underpans of the cars were always just primer with fogged. I don't care. Every single time I do this, it's not right. Not even the subframe. I don't care. If I cared, I would paint it that way. This is how I wanted to do it. So I do it as if it was restored, and put on a rotisserie or whatever the case may be. I just like the finished, cleaned up look. More so than fogging on. If I was doing a factory stock, then yeah, sure. But I'm not. So save you time. So I got these painted up. Still got to hit them with some Aqua Gloss Clear. Put a wash on them, give them a little bit of depth. For the interior, I went with a really dark green for the avocado green 68 Charger. Now, keep in mind that this is still in the gloss. So once I hit this with a semi-gloss clear, this is going to lighten a little bit, but that's going to be the interior on the 68 Charger. So this body is done. Just waiting for, just got to put the glass in it, finish up, you know, painting the pieces of the interior and the chassis, which is pretty much done at this point. Again, like I said, it's just a matter of putting some lipstick on the pigs, as it were. Now for the blue one, if you'll remember, that's this one, the one with the mod top on it. And what do we always say? That's correct. Yes, I know. You couldn't get a mod top on a Charger. This one's just going to be a plain white interior. The all of three of these cars will have black floors with flocking. The interior of the 69 Charger is going to be white. No frills, you know, the typical trim with the chrome and stuff like that. For the USAC Dart, I will show you the body last, but I'll show you some of the stuff that I'm doing. I painted the seats for the USAC Dart in an ugly green. I was just going for an ugly green, and keep in mind when this gets hit with a semi-gloss, I'm gonna, again, aqua gloss clear, add a little wash to it to give it some depth, and then hit it with semi-gloss clear. That will lighten it slightly. But as a contrast color for the USAC Dart, I have this ScaleFinishes House of Color Lime Time. Again, there'll be a link in the description. It's a really cool green with like a yellowish flake to it. The interior, the inside of the engine compartment is going to be this gold color. It's a little bit garish and gaudy, I understand. And I have engines. So this is going to be the engine, the 389 cubic inch, which is a 383 board, 30 over, 389 cubic inch big block for the 68 USAC Dart. This one is going to be for a 440 for the 1969 Charger in Chrysler orange. This is a small block. Ooh, jeez. A small block in corporate blue for another project I'm working on. And this one is going to be a 440 for the avocado green 68 Charger. Got some Optima batteries painted over here with their signature red top, black body. So now, wheels. Wheels for the blue Charger are going to be low profile resto mod versions of steel wheels. And they are going to have a chrome Baby Moon hubcap. And that's going to tuck in there. Right up, kind of like that. Neighborhood of that. I like that look. It's going to fill out the wheel well very well. Doesn't really require any lowering. My test fitting showed that the stock position of the suspension that comes in the kit leaves this right about here. So that's a nice stance. I like that. So I'm sure it's going to need adjusting. The avocado green is going to receive, they're actually drying right now, the version of a resto mod version of the wheels, the wheel covers that are on the Bullet Charger. I'll throw a picture up right now. It's going to be like a low profile and resto mod version of those wheels. So last but not least, what I have to show you is my progress on the dartboard, my USAC project. So this is going to be a 1968 Dodge Dart, built as a bracket racer or an attraction racer. So this one, these were decals drawn and printed by me. I like the way they came out. They have the floral top pattern in there, as you could see. If you could see in the sail pattern, or as the light hits it, you might be able to see like an emerald or an opalescent quality. This is ScaleFinishes white with interference green sprayed over it, and then the decals, and then 2K clear. I haven't wet sanded and polished it yet. I might not, to be honest with you. I don't see any huge, it's not super high gloss, like, you know, it doesn't look like a candy apple, but I'm kind of digging the way it's looking now. So it might stay like this. And here's the hood. This I've messed up a few times and I might have to redo, but for the most part I'm kind of happy with it. So there's the hood on there. I like the overall look. And as far as the wheel and tire combination, my responses were pretty much evenly matched between the center lines and these magnesium mags, and I went with the magnesium mags. So that's going to be kind of how that pans out. So like I said, this is probably not going to make it. This is not going to make it for the deadline of March 16, because I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to rush it to make the deadline and wind up ruining it and wasting all my time and money, frankly. And there was a lot of time that went into making these decals and a lot of time in building this, and I don't want to screw it up just to make a deadline. You know what I mean? I did manage to get my friend Mike's name on there, my friend Frank's name on there, so hopefully they'll find that interesting. So there's that. One more. What was the other thing I had to do with this? Oh, the exhaust on all of my cars that I'm working on now, including one that I can't really talk about. Scale Auto Model Works just recently released some files for aftermarket and stock mufflers, including cherry bombs, thrush. Look at the detail on that. Like, you should be able to make out the Thunder Chicken, whatever it is, on there. MagnaFlow. And these come with these come in several styles, not just, you know, in one side, out the other side. You'll have in one side, out the center, in the center, out the center. It comes with all different kinds. It also comes, you can also download separately a file so that you have exhaust pipes that will fit perfectly into here. Where did I put those? But it makes, they even have cross pipes, X pipes, 45s, so that you can make a custom exhaust. They even have the pipe that goes over, and the pipes themselves, I believe, are free. Like, that file is free, and you just have to pay for the mufflers. So, and I think they were like $5 or $6. Naturally, there's going to be a link in the description, but I think that's the move from now on for me. I'm going to be just putting in a custom exhaust. So, there's my update. All right, there's that. Let me sum up, and we'll talk a little bit more. All right, hold on. So there you have it. That's where I stand on all my current projects. The engine paint that I used for the engines that I showed you previously, those are all splash paints, engine colors. The turquoise for the 1968 and earlier Chrysler looks pretty good. Looks pretty good for the, you can hear my daughter laughing upstairs at something. Every night she's on the phone with her friend, and I guess they play games online, and the two of them are a riot to listen to. It's pretty good stuff. It's a close match to the colors, and they have, they don't have like that Oldsmobile metallic blue. I don't think they have the Pontiac. MCW Paints also has an engine color line that's fantastic, so check that out. I believe ScaleFinishes does as well. I prefer the splash paints over enamels just for the drying time, but the enamels from MCW are magnificent. It's it's just wonderful. It's wonderful paint. With their hardener, it's drying 8 hours anyway. It's just I like to keep things moving because I need the motivation to keep things going. To this light. So that's my story. That's what's up. That's what's been going on in Frank's Model Works world. It's gonna happen from time to time. I'm tired. I'm old. Had a tough job. Winters are rough. It's probably the worst part-time job anybody's ever had. And I honestly, if I start to think of it as a job, then I got to look at the money that I get out of it, which is next to nothing, and devote myself to being able to work my real job. You know what I mean? If I'm spending 16 hours, 17 hours a week making a video, to the point where I'm tired when I'm at work, it's not, I got to keep my head about me while I'm at work, otherwise I get hurt. So as things update, I'll keep you up to date. I'll keep you posted on what's going on. Hopefully I'll get the USAC build. Ideally, I want everything, I want to be able to bring everything to RepLICon, which is on March 22nd. I'm pretty optimistic I'll have everything done by NNL East. So that reminds me, I'm gonna put a bumper in the beginning of this video as a reminder for RepLICon, which is coming up in a little over a week on March 22nd. It's a Saturday. That's in Freeport, New York. I'm gonna put the flyer up now. I'm gonna put the flyer up in the beginning of the video. So if you're in the New York area, it's a good show. You're gonna see a lot of stuff. You're gonna see planes, tanks, armor, dioramas, really good stuff. Science fiction, some of the best science fiction stuff I've seen. Really, really good stuff. And I find that stuff. I find all genres of modeling interesting. So if you're in the area, come down. I'll have the flyer up, and then I'm gonna do a bump up for the beginning of this video. So, as always, I got Frizzo's back. I appreciate your support. Until we speak again, my friends, take care of yourselves and be well.